Have you ever felt, well, just stuck? I'm not talking about some big dramatic life crisis, but that quiet, heavy feeling where you know you need to do something, but you just can't find the gas in the tank to get started. Well, today we're going to tear down how to get unstuck, and I promise you, the real science behind it is probably the exact opposite of everything you've ever been told.
Man, this quote from a Reddit user just nails it, doesn't it? That's the feeling. It's this weird paralysis where even thinking about what to do is exhausting. The first thing you need to hear is, if that's you, you are so not alone. There's a really good reason so many of us get stuck in that place, and it all starts with a huge lie we've been told about motivation.
Okay, let's dive right in, because this right here, this is the central myth that keeps people trapped. We've been sold a completely backward idea about how to get going.
So look at this. The lie is on the left. We've been taught our whole lives to wait for motivation. You sit there hoping for this magical lightning bolt of inspiration to strike before you take action. But the truth, backed by neuroscience and just, well, reality, is the complete opposite. Action comes first. Action is the spark. You have to do the thing to get the motivation to keep doing the thing. This isn't about some cheesy "just do it" poster. Think of it like a machine. Taking action starts a chemical reaction in your brain that literally generates the feeling of motivation. That feeling then builds momentum. You see, you don't find motivation, you build it.
So, if taking action is the key, why is starting something new so incredibly hard? Why does it feel so awful at the beginning, even when we know it's good for us? Let's try a little thought experiment from the Station X podcast. Picture your life, your career, a new skill, your health, as a mountain range. Right now, you're standing on a peak. It's comfortable, you're good at what you do here. And over in the distance, you can see the next, higher peak you want to get to. So just think about it physically. How do you get from the top of one mountain to the top of an even higher one? There's no magic bridge. There's only one way to go.
You have to go down. You have to go down into the valley first. That feeling of being a clumsy, awkward beginner again, that's the descent. Your muscles screaming on day one of a new workout, that's the descent. That feeling isn't a sign that you're failing. It's the absolute non-negotiable price of admission for climbing higher.
Okay, so we have to embrace that initial discomfort, that walk through the valley. Got it. But how do we build a system that actually makes taking that very first step just a little bit easier?
The secret here is not some massive, heroic effort. It's about building a little engine for yourself, a momentum engine, and it runs on tiny, consistent, almost laughably small actions.
Here's a brilliant little mind trick from those Reddit threads. It's called the 5-minute rule. Whatever it is you're avoiding, studying, cleaning, working out, just tell yourself you only have to do it for 5 minutes. See, the goal isn't to finish the whole thing, it's just to start. The fear of this enormous task is what paralyzes us, but anyone can do something for 5 minutes. And you know what usually happens? Once you're 5 minutes in, you just keep going. And you can build on this with what folks call tiny wins. Start ridiculously small, as one person put it. I'm talking make your bed, drink a glass of water, put on your shoes and walk for 10 minutes. Each time you check one of these tiny things off, your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. It's a reward chemical. It's a tiny little signal that says, hey, we're moving forward, and your brain loves that. It starts a positive cycle.
And you can actually turn this into a system. This framework from educative.com is super simple. 1. Pick a consistent time for your 5-minute action, maybe right after your morning coffee. 2. For those 5 minutes, kill all distractions. Phone in another room, no other tabs open. Just give yourself that little bit of focus. And 3. Reward yourself. Put a big check mark on a calendar. That visual win reinforces that dopamine loop and makes your brain eager to do it again tomorrow.
So, what happens when this works? Once you get that engine going and you start building momentum, a whole new, much trickier problem pops up. It's what the author Greg McKeown calls the undisciplined pursuit of more. You know it by another name, burnout.
This quote just says it all. As you get momentum, people notice. Opportunities start coming your way. And if you don't have a system for protecting your time and your energy, trust me, other people will be more than happy to spend it for you on their priorities.
Let me tell you a quick story Greg shared that perfectly illustrates this. Since he was a little kid, he had this goal tucked away in the back of his mind. Someday, he was going to own a full, authentic Star Wars Stormtrooper costume. So for 30 years, this idea just kind of hung around. Then, as a grown man in his 40s, he's finally in a costume shop. He's trying on this expensive, elaborate suit. He looks at himself in the mirror, and in that one moment,
He realized his 40-year-old self had zero desire for this thing. It was a Stormtrooper goal, an old idea that was no longer essential but was still taking up valuable mental real estate. And that begs the question for all of us, how many Stormtrooper goals are we chasing right now that are draining our energy for no good reason?
The lesson here is absolutely crucial. To have momentum for the long haul, you have to protect the asset. And the asset is you. It's your energy, your focus, your sanity. That means you have to get ruthless about cutting out the non-essential stuff. And it means you have to see rest not as laziness, but as a strategic requirement for doing great work. Saying no is a victory for the things that actually matter.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've talked about action before motivation, we've talked about the path through the valley, and protecting your energy. But it all really boils down to one single powerful thing.
We fall into this trap where we say, I have to do this, I have to go to that meeting, I have to answer that email. Greg McCone calls this learned helplessness, because when you say I have to, you're giving away your power. The truth is, you always have a choice. Just switching your internal language from I have to I choose to is a game changer. It forces you to own your actions and reminds you that you're in the driver's seat.
So I'll leave you with this question. Forget the giant mountain for now. Forget about finding motivation. What is the one tiny, ridiculously small, essential thing you will choose to do in the next 5 minutes to take that first step down into your valley? Because that choice, right there, and the tiny action that follows, that's where everything begins.